False Start, a college football podcast for everyone and everyone else. I'm your host, John Buhler, lead writer for Fansided. I'm joined today by a man who knows the only difference between martyrdom and suicide is press coverage, as well as the only difference between Johnny Manziel and Moneyline John Mateer is somebody's going to church tomorrow. Cody Williams, content director, fanside.com. Praise be, how are you?
What if that I'm just trying to imagine like Johnny Manziel, like it's time to, do like the tithing and whatnot and like whatever. And he's just like, I got you, you know, right there, right there. I got you right there, Jesus.
He
I'm
goes,
doing good, man. It was a good Saturday. How you doing?
pretty good. Johnny Manziel at the offering basket. He's just like this. Yeah, very exciting week 4 here of college football. Dogs run it by. Your Tar Heels might as well have been. They gotta stop playing the Big 12, dude.
They kind of Let's just cancel the season. I'm so over the Tar Heels. I was talking with our coworker Alicia Diartola Castillo earlier this week, and she was like, "Yeah, how are things going with Bill Belichick?" And I said, "I don't want to talk about it. I just can't right now."
Nah, the Red Sox are gonna make the playoffs, right?
We're not counting our chickens before they hatch. It's getting a little hairy down to the wire here.
Well, the Braves are below 500, and I'm wearing a chipper jersey because we got eliminated by the postseason. Because
Yeah, but
also,
it's a sick chipper shirt, so I mean that you got that going for you.
I've got that going for me. Pretty exciting week here. A couple of big time games here. Obviously, the first window was highlighted by just a really wild game versus Utah and Texas Tech. Mid afternoon, Auburn, Oklahoma, and then at night, I know we came to you after Indiana and Illinois, but it was all about Miami and Florida.
Yeah, I mean there was a lot going on today because like those were the marquee games in every window, but like you still had Michigan, Nebraska, which was a good game. That was a lot of fun. In the first window, you had Clemson doing Clemson things, which what Clemson things are have definitely changed over the past month. Just a weird, wild kind of Saturday, and only going to get wilder from here because this was kind of the calm before the storm, which is next week.
Yeah. Alabama, Auburn, Oregon, Penn State. Let's go. And then in 2 weeks, it's Florida State, Miami.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure like, there's just a lot coming in the next couple of weeks. It's going to be madness.
A lot's been happening, Basil, and I'm going to get us going today here with your Arts and Cloud with our first run of the day. Um, Oklahoma and Miami. I'm killing you with these today, dude.
You just said it so casually. I wasn't ready for it.
I'm going to run with Oklahoma and Miami being serious national championship contenders, not because of their Heisman caliber quarterbacks, but because they both have pass rushes here.
Mhm.
That was the deciding factor of ultimately why Oklahoma held on to beat Auburn and why Miami was able to hold on to beat Florida State. Be sure to give Jackson Arnold and DJ Lagway some ice, like Paul from Tommy Boy, because he needs
Dude,
it.
absolutely. They need that hit the ice bath hard. That's where you need to live for the next week because they got the absolute crap kicked out of both of them.
Yeah, oh my God. Like, I wish I remember the names of the pass rushers for Oklahoma, but Venables was in this bag.
Hmm.
And then obviously with Miami, they probably got the best tandem in college football there with Ruben Bain and Mesidor. Like, it's just Jason Taylor's like, do this, and they're doing it. And I would be surprised like if DJ Lai was like, you know what, I'm gonna take your red shirt and just not do this anymore.
Yeah, I mean, this is not good for your health. That's for damn sure. Selfishly, I very much want Ruben Bain to be a future Dallas Cowboy. Please,
Yeah.
God, make that happen. Um, but yeah, I mean, like you talked about it, it's not because of the Heisman caliber quarterbacks. Like John Mateer did not play his best game today. Carson Beck certainly did not play his best game today, and it didn't matter. Like the final score for Miami, Florida might look relatively low scoring, and that's because Beck didn't play well. Miami was in control of that entire game. Beck's one mistake is the only reason Florida had a pulse in that entire game. And when I say mistake, I obviously mean an interception that he threw, which gave Florida good field position. But regardless, like that game never felt out of Miami's control. And in Oklahoma's case, like they didn't play well, and it still felt like they had Auburn on its heels for the entire game. Even when Auburn took the lead 17-16, it still didn't feel like Auburn was in control of the game.
No, it was It was a very weird game there in
Mhm.
Norman
Yeah.
today. Very probably one of the worst officiated games I've seen, probably since the SEC championship in 2023, where it was just bad
Yeah.
for both sides. But
Yeah.
like everything bad kept happening to Auburn. They got ripped away from a scoop and score, which probably should have stayed. I'm like, you're gonna
Mhm.
overturn that. And then I'm trying to think with the what Satania, I think was the wide receiver who
Yeah.
basically should have been.
On both plays too.
Yes, this guy was in the middle of everything. Like the first touchdown, like the only touchdown but pass Mateer threw, I think, or the first one he threw, like should have been an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on Oklahoma because they did like a fake substitution.
Yeah, and I mean, and then you had the granted Auburn ended up still scoring on the drive, but the missed defensive pass interference on a which should have been a touchdown pass to Cam
Yeah,
Coleman absolutely leveled them before the ball got there. And then on Oklahoma's what ended up being Oklahoma's game-winning touchdowns drive, Satania again on the sideline. It seemed the ball got jarred loose. They were talking about is a completed catch or what. There were some of the calls, like the fumble, I think is by far the most egregious one. Like, overturning that was a choice to say the
yeah,
least. It very clearly looked like he had control, made a catch, and then fumbled it as he was coming over the defender's body. The OPI, obviously, that's a missed call. The other ones, I can see where the trick play would be a judgment call. So I'm not going to be too harsh on that. On the catch, I thought it was a catch in real time. When I watched the first replay for the first time, I was like, I mean, it seemed like he had the catch and then it kind of just got slung out after he'd already taken a few steps. It's out of bounds. It would have been a fumble had he been in the field of play. So that's kind of where I was looking at that. Having said that, they called it an incompletion to begin with, and the fact
right.
that there was enough evidence to overturn the call, I don't know if that's quite the case.
No, no, it's like looking at it from this perspective, the reasons that like besides being home, I think that was a huge help for
Yeah.
both having the crowd there for the Sooners and the Canes and everything like that. I found like, yeah, neither quarterback played particularly great. And I think like they both showed some issues again in the passing game that may dock them for the NFL draft. Like once again, Beck's not throwing the most catchable ball. And the material is just throwing these lasers. It's like they're like down the feet. People like, you got to give you guys an opportunity to make these plays.
hmm
But I never really felt that the offense for either of those teams was like, okay, we don't know what we're doing. I thought the defense played very well for Auburn and Florida for as long as it could.
hmm
And then I think on the other side of the coin, like Venables and Cristobal, you thought like, oh, this is a game that they're certainly going to screw up. They didn't do it. The lesser coach, the ones who are feeling the pressure, arguably Hugh Freeze and most certainly Billy Napier kind of screwed their pooch on that. And those are offensive minded guys. Napier couldn't give her a single third down.
Um, I'm gonna break some news here. I don't think Billy Napier's a good coach. I really don't.
No.
I think he's a fine offensive mind. I just don't think he has any clue how to run a program and call an offense. It's very apparent at this point, and like Miami's defense had a hand in that. Like, I don't want to discredit them, but like at a certain point, man, like you've got to switch something up. Like asking DJ Lagway to drop back as much as you are is clearly not working against multiple types and multiple caliber of defense that you faced this season. Like they we'll get on Billy Napier in a little bit, but my God, we gotta get him out of here. This is terrible.
I know. You're right. The Heatherman had a good game there for defensively for
Yeah,
Miami. I thought weather was kind of a bit of a factor for Dawson and Beck. It seemed like it was just
yeah.
a constant drizzle the whole night. But I mean, it's Florida, so that's kind of what you expect. But like Heatherman didn't feel like he's like, I just got to focus on the first and second now because Billy's going to screw up the third down.
Don't really got to worry about that. As long as we don't allow him to get a first down early, we're going to be fine.
And I guess like my like last point about these two teams with Oklahoma and Miami is like, yeah, pass rush was absolutely filthy. Auburn got sacked 10 times. Like,
Yeah, I mean, like just in his, I mean, one of the things you have to love about Brent Venables, and I believe I said this on the Thursday show, but like when you look at what Oklahoma did to Michigan, who, nice win for Michigan today at Nebraska, uh, which makes the Oklahoma win look even better. But when you look at Venables' game plan for that, it was daring Bryce Underwood to throw it because we know he's an athlete. We know what the Michigan run game is capable of, but we want to see this 18-year-old throw it against the high caliber defense, and he couldn't do it. They know pretty well what Jackson Arnold is, and Jackson Arnold is not a thrower. And so not only did they dare him to throw it, but they said, we're also going to dare you to throw it under duress the entire game. And yeah, Auburn reeled off some big plays because Jackson Arnold, though imperfect, does still have quite a bit of talent. But at the end of the day, like it wasn't nearly enough. Like Auburn's offense was so stop and go, and I don't think that's. I mean, Hugh Freeze is their head coach. That's a credit to the Oklahoma defense. It's not the Auburn offense just being like it's Auburn. Auburn is not Florida. There's not a
No.
coaching dilemma that we're having there. It was just you played a defense that was better than you.
And I think that's totally fair. I guess like my kind of like last point here is I think that Oklahoma and Miami are playoff caliber.
Hmm.
I don't necessarily know if right this instant if they're going to win the respective leagues because
Hmm.
there's going to come a time where Oklahoma is going to play a quarterback who can throw it, and
Hmm.
Miami's going to have to play a quarterback who can throw it too or do something. And I'm talking about Miami like what's going to happen when Miami plays Florida State and Georgia Tech? Like,
Yeah.
what's that going to look like? And with Oklahoma, I'm trying to think who else is on their schedule. I mean,
Everyone good in the SEC.
like, I'm not going to put Arch Manning in here, but like, Bo Priblia could do something against him.
Absolutely.
Trying to think who else Oklahoma plays.
I mean, if Nussmeier gets it together, Nussmeier in
Yeah,
theory could do that. I'm looking, see who else is on this schedule. Oh, Joey Aguilar. They're at
yeah,
Tennessee in
that's tough.
the
Yeah,
beginning of
Joey,
November. Not gonna. I'm. It depends on which quarterback's playing, but you do have Ole Miss coming to town at the end of October. We know Ole Miss
yeah.
is going to throw the ball.
Whether that's Chambliss or Simmons, that's a totally different
Yeah,
beast here. But to win these games where it wasn't pretty and you still kind of came out on top very convincingly,
yeah,
that's the sign of a team that's like capable of winning a national title. And
agreed.
we'll see what happens there with that. But you know, lesser teams would have lost these games.
No, 100%. And like to in Oklahoma's case specifically, if they can continue just weathering this schedule, like I think this might be the one schedule in the country where you can go 9-3 and make the playoff comfortably. Like
Yeah,
it is that tough of a schedule. Like you're like unless you lose to Kent State, which I do not see happening next
no,
week, if you lose any of your remaining games, none of them are going to go down as a bad loss. Like
no.
it's all quality losses from here on out if you're Oklahoma. But if you can go 9-3 with this schedule and you get into the playoff, there's not a team in the country that's going to be as battle tested as you. There's not a team in the country that's going to have had to play as many different types of those battles as you were going to have. They are going to be the most prepared team in the country to weather the college football playoff.
God, isn't Red River going to be great?
Dude, especially if Arch Manning isn't just a dunce. Yes, absolutely.
That'd be good here. So that's what I feel about that. What do you want to run with?
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and run with not necessarily national championship contenders, and I'm gonna add someone on the fly to this, Bueller, and I apologize for doing that to you, but I'm gonna talk about Texas Tech, I'm gonna talk about Indiana, and I'm gonna talk about Memphis. These look like playoff teams to me, brother.
Yeah,
Like you look at what Texas Tech did to Utah team that I've obviously been high on since right about the preseason. And man, you look at what Texas Tech did to them, and this isn't your daddy's Texas Tech team, man. This isn't all finesse. Like they beat Utah up in the trenches. Of the many outcomes I saw for Utah, getting beat up in the
no,
trenches by the Red Raiders was not one of them. And Baron Morton Salt went out in the first half of this game, and their backup comes in, and it didn't slow down even a little bit. Like this Texas Tech team is something to be taken seriously.
yeah. Like we were thinking about this game. This was the big noon game and everything like that. We're like, okay, whoever wins this game, the same sort of thing we said about Oklahoma Auburn. Like whoever wins this, we're gonna have something really positive to say about this. It was a little disjointed initially, and then Texas Tech just basically blew the barn doors off of them.
Mm-hmm.
Joey McGuire, shaking babies, kissing hands. He knows how to recruit, and the power void still exists in the Big 12.
Yeah.
And Texas Tech is a program where like money is not going to be an issue. It's like getting to Lubbock and having like an identity that's not just Big 12 soft pillow fight finesse. I mean, like
Yeah.
that right there, what we saw them beating the snot out of Utah, like that's the best team in the Big 12 right now.
No, 100%. They beat Utah how Utah beats teams.
Yes.
You talk about it looking disjointed early. How many Utah games over the years when they were in the Pac-12 or even in the Big 12 have we watched where the first half, it's a close game, and you're like, what's really going on here? Like, what is Utah doing? Are they playing with their food? And then by the fourth quarter, the opposing team is just worn down and can't handle it physically anymore. That's exactly what Texas Tech did, because I think the most indicative thing about how well Texas Tech played and how methodical they were in this game was I believe they were up by 10 or 13. I can't remember quite exactly, like late in the fourth quarter. And they were trying to run out the clock. Utah knew that. Utah was trying to stop that. They knew that they were going to run the ball. And Texas Tech reeled off 2 first downs and then ripped off a 19-yard touchdown run. They couldn't stop it. They couldn't stop it. And like, that says everything about what Texas Tech did in this game. Utah knew what they were going to do and couldn't do anything about it.
When we think about Texas Tech, we always think of the air raid because of the late Mike Leach and everything that did in the 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
Once he left Oklahoma to take over there in Lubbock and everything like that. I don't look at Texas Tech as an air raid team. I look at this as a team. It's like we've completely revamped it. We've basically made ourselves what honestly Oklahoma State should be.
Yeah, when Oklahoma State is at its best, this is what that's what Texas Tech is right now.
Yeah. Very, very pleased with what we saw with the Red Raiders. And I called it Memphis over Arkansas.
You did.
Liberty Bowl.
You did. Not without some self-inflicted wounds there at the end. I don't know if you caught the end of that, but
that's fine.
Fumbling on the 8-yard line, not exactly what you want to do when you're trying to set up the game-winning field goal.
No, not at all. Not a great day for that Kirby Smart disciple. A great day for Fran Brown. That guy's a star.
Fran Brown, I love him. I love him so much. His post-game interview, God, like, just put it in my veins.
Steve Angeli might be cooked, but Ricky Collins played well down the stretch.
Yeah, I mean, Ricky Collins is a higher upside player than Steve Angeli, I would say. Probably going to be a lot more variance, but, we'll get through it.
I just felt with, like, Memphis, it's like this was the program that had the highest, FPI percentage to win the group of five. And we were all in on Tulane. We were all in on South Florida. Tulane got smoked by Ole Miss. And then USF lost last week to Miami. Memphis is 4-0. They got a quality Power 4 win over Arkansas, over a regional rival. Memphis has a very tough conference schedule in the American, but this looks like a team that's like, you know what? Why did you not want it? Why don't you want us to be in the Power 4? Memphis is like, this is kind of like Brian Silverfield's having a moment other than, trying to throw Georgia on the bus, which is stupid, but like Memphis, it feels like Memphis is like right now, like they're peaking like what they do about every 5 or 6 years.
No, absolutely. And I mean, like, when has there been a year where you could honestly take Memphis lightly as a G5 team? Like, no. But not even talking about playoff contender or anything like that, but just take them lightly. Like, this has been a consistent machine in the G5 for quite a while now. Yeah. And you have to like your position right now if you're the Tigers, because I mean, you look at the situation. USF took a bad loss to Miami. Tulane obviously took the bad loss today to Ole Miss, and like the G5 contenders are kind of dropping left and right and like dropping games already. Memphis hasn't done that, and Memphis now has a P4 win to their credit. Like that's something you can't ignore. And like I think Arkansas is actually a pretty good team. Like their defense might be suspect for sure, but like this offense is going to put up points. They're going to upset someone because they're going to score more than the other team can in SEC play. And like that win I think is going to age quite well for Memphis.
Yeah, the only other G5 that I could think of that's about on their level right now is UNLV, but they don't have the opportunity for that quality win.
Did they win versus Miami, Ohio today? They were in a
they did. Dan Mullen's 4-0. But you beat UCLA, and UCLA's dog water.
Yeah, I mean that win means absolutely nothing. Like
it means
we could get the fan-sided all-stars out there and put up a game against UCLA right now.
Put me in my pinched nerve out there. Apparently I might have plantar fasciitis. I found that out the other day.
Brother, my knees are made of paper mache, so we're ready to rock.
Minnesota State podcast is like, you gotta stop wearing the Vans, man. I'm like, I'm gonna keep wearing them until I'm dead.
That's right. Yeah, I tell the NC State podcast, she has a big fan of the Chuck Taylors, and I'm like, those are terrible for you. You're just killing yourself.
pretty much here. And then Indiana we did not expect to see.
Yeah,
you picked them to win, but it was like
I didn't pick them to win by 53.
No, Fernando Mendoza. Fernando.
Dude, okay. So, two things. One, I think, especially after what we saw from Mateer and Beck today, Fernando might be the front runner for the Heisman Trophy. Like, I think that's what kind of where we're sitting. Like, he's been putting up the numbers. It's like since the first game where it was clearly a feeling out process, he's just been doing nothing but putting up ridiculous numbers. And he just did it against the top 10 team in the country. Granted, it was in Bloomington. Granted, it was in the rain, but like, he looked damn good, and he looked like the best player in college football right now. That can, again, we're in week 4. That's probably going to change at least 5 more times. But that looked incredible. And on Indiana as a whole, the line that I'm going to keep repeating throughout this week about Indiana, but that I truly believe, what we wanted Indiana to be last year in terms of like the underdog college football playoff team that could actually upset someone when they get to the playoff, that could actually pull off something that's sort of unexpected. I think that's what this year's team actually is. I think this team is actually better than what we saw from Indiana a year ago. And if I'm Oregon and I'm Penn State, who are on Indiana's schedule coming, like moving forward, I'm scared of this team. This team is legitimate because when you think back to what hurt Indiana last year, it was their lack of size and lack of depth in the trenches on both sides of the ball. They were a little bit more effective on defense than they were on offense, but their offensive line could not hold up against your Ohio States and your other high caliber teams that you had to face. They're much better on the offensive line this year. Illinois is a defensive front that can put pressure on good teams, and Fernando Mendoza had all day to do whatever he wanted in this game.
You mentioned like, is he the front runner for the Heisman? Yeah, he might be. I mean, I still think like Dante Moore's got to be certainly up
Yeah.
there.
Oh, yeah.
Stockton's got a limited sample size. Nussmeier's put up some stats there too, and then obviously the Beck material of it all
Yeah.
is certainly near the top. But like, Indiana's not just like going away. They are a known commodity, and honestly, like because I saw somewhere where it said like Lenore Sellers is like the number one quarterback prospect right now, which is like what we said, but it's also because Arch Manning and like Cade Klubnik aren't good.
Yeah.
Fernando Mendoza is like all of 6'5", and I know we're kind of under the impression that like, okay, like he's gonna play this year next because his brother Alberto is on the program too.
Right.
But like I I would have a very hard time passing on him if I was Sean McVay in the Rams.
Oh, 100%. Especially because, like, when you talk, we like, okay, let's use Arch Manning as an example. We talked about Arch Manning like he's not even existent in this draft class for the most part because we
He's
don't
not.
believe, like, he's not. He was never going to be. He was always going to stay an extra year. And now he's definitely staying an extra year because at most you're going to have 9 games of good work and probably not that. But like, this is Mendoza's breakout, sure, because it's a bigger stage. But there's a ton of like experience and tape are not lacking when it comes to Fernando Mendoza. He has a year starting at Cal under his belt already. Now he's in an offense that is more fully functional. Now he's in an offensive system that plays to his strengths, and we're seeing what he's capable of when he's able to do that.
Yeah, there's you got the name Fernando Mania. Like
That's right.
I was on uh I was doing the podcast with Rich Quinones there on Friday,
Mm.
and we're talking about Clayton Kershaw retiring, and somebody was saying, is he like the greatest Dodger of all time? Like, dude, he's not even on the Mount Rushmore. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's silly.
And he was right there with me. I'm like, I don't know. Jackie Robinson played for your team.
Yeah, I mean, that's where we'll start for
I
sure.
mean, uh, trying to think who was Don Sutton had better stats than he did.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, you could probably put Fernando up there.
yeah, Fernando Valenzuela.
Um,
Drysdale had some stuff too. Hershiser had that one good year.
yeah.
But
Sandy Koufax.
Sandy Koufax, yeah. We're talking about this Sandy Koufax, and um, I had something else about Kershaw that was just not clutch.
I
We're
mean,
just dumb.
very very fitting that he gave up a leadoff bomb in his last start at Dodger Stadium.
I mean, he's like Peyton Manning out there. His whole thing was his whole career is paved with gold, and he didn't win enough.
Yeah, I agree.
Sorry.
I agree completely.
Had a joke here about the Manning. So let's say, for example, the Mannings got on like the Bezos crank shuttle. They're going to space, and they're all up there, and they found out that they have to re-enter the atmosphere because otherwise they're going to suffocate.
Yeah.
And they only have an hour's worth of oxygen. How long are they still alive?
13 minutes, maybe.
They're dead on arrival.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
the oxygen's gone.
You're not making it.
Dude. Fernando Mendoza as the Heisman, like we gotta get him on a big noon thing with Gus Johnson. We gotta
Oh yeah.
win Indiana. They were also the big game too. They're prime time on NBC, but it's like this program is not going away.
No.
And Also, I like the fact that Kurt Cignetty turned heel.
Yeah,
That's really good for the brand too.
100%. I mean, like, you know what? I love a heel who, has a point. And like Kurt Signetti, like walks around like he's better than you. And damn it, he might be. He might just be. One other team that we do kind of need to just touch on for a second. Missouri beat South Carolina, still undefeated. Um, I don't know if I'm quite ready to put Mizzou in the playoff, but they're definitely going to be in the mix.
Yeah, like we mentioned this before, Mizzou and NC State are the same program. It's like the
Yeah.
year that you think you're going to buy in on them, they disappoint. The year that you don't expect much, they really shine. For as long as Mizzou's been the SEC, they've always had defensive linemen. They've always had
Mhm.
a wide receiver. Quarterback play is hit or miss. Coaching comes and goes. They don't always recruit as well as they probably should. But Eli Drinkwitz, he's overqualified for where he's at.
Yeah, agreed.
Like, and I don't know if he's got a. I don't know if he's gonna be switching jobs in the SEC, whether that's Florida. I mean, if Auburn opened up, I think he'd take that immediately.
Yeah, agreed. I don't know if it's going to, but
No, but like with Bo Pribula at quarterback for Mizzou, it just adds a level of dynamism they
yeah.
haven't had at that position. Since
Drew
Chase
Lock,
Daniel,
maybe.
Drew Lock was just flinging a poo against a wall. This is
It was
Chase,
fun poo though.
it
I
was
enjoyed
fun.
watching Drew Lock play.
Nothing was more fun than Chase Daniel going through Taco Bell drive-through in 08.
It's true. It's true.
But it's like to go toe to toe with Lenore Sellers
Mhm.
and win the Battle of Como and effectively knock South Carolina out of the playoff race already.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
I'm gonna pull up Missouri's schedule real quick right here, but it's if I'm not mistaken, it's still semi-manageable. No, maybe not. It's pretty hard. I was
Well,
just kidding.
it's like it's a bottom quarter SEC schedule with like Ole Miss and Tennessee,
Yeah.
but that's still challenging.
Yeah, you got Alabama at home, at Auburn, at Vanderbilt. Speaking of Vanderbilt, shouts to avenging the loss against Georgia State today. Appreciate we
Yeah,
love to see that.
Vanderbilt's F and Taryn did.
Texas A&M comes to town. Hell, Mississippi State's 4-0. Can't overlook that game as they come to town. You got to go on the road to Norman and on the road to finish at Fayetteville. Like,
in in a game that like could decide Sam Pittman's fate. Yeah.
yeah, a game that could decide Sam Pittman's fate could decide your fate if you're in the college football playoff mix. So, like, yeah, Mizzou doesn't have an easy road left. It's not last year when they should have taken advantage of it, but this is a good team. It's a really good football team.
It's you mentioned it like Brady Cook just wasn't good. Like
Dude, just the most jag of jags, like King Jag.
but like last year with Mizzou, it was just like I can't believe they're ranked. Now it's like, why were they not ranked to start?
Yeah, why? How did this take so long? What are we doing?
what are what are we doing? And what's taking so long? I gotta pass with some stuff here.
Yes, sir.
It's all about coaches. I'm gonna pass on three coaches that don't need a coach to the Power Four another day. That'd be Mike Gundy at Oklahoma State. That's Luke Fickell at Wisconsin, and that's Billy Napier at Florida. And I'm also gonna pass on the idea of Clemson winning a national title under this, pretty much under Dabo Swinney ever again. Like
Yeah.
this is all four of those programs just had awful leagues. And I don't know how much you watched of the Tulsa loss for Oklahoma State, but like
It
this
wasn't
is
good. What I didn't watch the entire game, but what I did watch was not good. I think I turned it on like midway through the third quarter because that's when I had an extra screen because I was watching the Sox. But and I also saw what the score was. And so I had to go see what was happening. And man, this Oklahoma's like, what are we doing? Like Mike Gundy is like cosplaying as a head coach at this point.
to lose to Tulsa is like Virginia Tech losing to Old Dominion.
Yeah.
And what's even more damning is I believe this is Trey Lamb's like first year at Tulsa. So
Yeah.
like we're talking like the smallest FBS school out
Mhm.
there. It's Steve Largent, and that's it. That's what they are.
There were quite a few NIL money jokes. Like I bet Tulsa still has more NIL money than Oklahoma State since Gundy wanted to open his mouth to Oregon.
It's like it's purely Stockholm syndrome at this point. This is more
Yeah,
Stockholm syndrome
that's
than
a really good
Mike
way to put
than
it.
Mike Tomlin Steelers. It's just being held captive. I don't know if it's tied into the T Boone Pickens trust. Like Gundy is going to coach this program until he effing dies. Like I don't know if that's what's in there, but like you got to go outside. You got to do something different. He was a great coach, but these last 2 years have really tarnished a Hall of Fame legacy, and I feel bad that it's ending like this. But they need to move on from him. It's getting septic.
No, it's beyond septic. This is gangrene, man. Like this is awful. And like I'm thinking about the NIL comments. I don't like Oklahoma State is not going to be Oklahoma in terms of NIL investment, obviously.
No.
But I would venture to guess that if Mike Gundy wasn't doing his Mike Gundy things right now, instead of being a football coach, if he was actually putting in the effort it takes to be an FBS football coach, you might have a little more investment. You might have a little more buy-in from the program.
With the power void, when this happened, we said like this is the one school that's gonna take advantage of it, and they've done the exact opposite of that.
Yeah. They bottomed out.
They bottomed out. Like Texas Tech coming in, it's like Texas Tech is like never going to be good, and Texas Tech has basically taken their spot.
Yeah.
They've taken their lunch money. It's like Cal Naughton Jr. being with Vicky's. I'm a driver's wife. Number
Why
one.
am I talking to you? You ruined my life.
Uh, that's Pete Eckhart's wife
Yeah. Megan. God,
Megan.
honestly, truly, there's never been a more perfect name choice than Megan. Like it's just so on point.
That's tough. That is
Just like it's tough in Madison, because
oh,
brother, what are we doing?
I'd like to thank Luke Fickell for being terrible at his job for making me look really good at my job today. I had an absolute killing day. Shout out to
Yeah.
Mark Knight. If you're listening to the show, we did fantastic work on Badger of Honor. Oh my God. This is literally Steve Coogan stepping on the mine of Tropic Thunder.
It really is, man. I told you pre-show that I saw a tweet today, and if I could find it, I would and give someone credit. But someone said it took 30 years to build something here and 3 years to effing ruin it. And like it's true, man. Like Wisconsin was, I would say, almost never great, but you had I would argue, one of the highest floors in college football, not just the Big Ten, in the entire sport. And I understand not playing in the Big Ten West is obviously a challenge that you were going to have to face. This was not how you face that challenge. It completely upending everything that you've been doing and that you built to this program for someone like Luke Fickell. Like you were early on this train. I want to give you your kudos. You were early on the I don't think this is going to work. I don't understand the fit. I don't like what's happening here. And you're absolutely right, because everything that's like what he's a crappy King Midas. Everything he touches turns to crap right now.
So you talk about like it's undermining everything over 30 years. Like Barry Alvarez's era basically started when we were like infants and toddlers and
Yeah.
stuff like that. There was about a 20-year window like in the 70s days where Wisconsin wasn't good.
Yeah.
And Barry Alvarez learned from Hayden Fry at Iowa. And Iowa was crap before he was there, in the 70s and stuff like that. Like you've gone back to an era of Wisconsin football that nobody really alive remembers. And it's like what Luke Fickell did today at quarterback was unforgivable.
Yeah.
Everybody says, don't let Billy Edwards Jr. play. I don't care that he's going up against Maryland. He's not healthy. You have a bye next week. And even if you lose with Danny O'Neal, which you probably were going to anyway, based on how we saw, you can spin and says, okay, we got our quarterback back. We got a chance against Michigan. Edwards went out there, threw one play, made one good throw, and then got hurt again. And then, they gave all the first team snaps to Edwards, and then they basically gave O'Neal like no plays behind a paper offensive line. Special teams was horrendous. It was the saddest jump around I've ever seen in my entire life. And I understand his buyout is really complicated. I don't know if you know the details of this. It's like it's 25 million, but there's also like he has to be paid 80% of whatever is on his remaining salary, and he's under contract through 2029 or 2031. So
Shouts to
it's
that extension. What are we doing, man?
like Chris McIntosh is just destroyed with Wisconsin athletics here. This is a team. This team's not winning another effing game. Like
No.
no, like they're not beating Iowa.
Oh
They're not
God,
be,
no.
they're not beating Washington. They're not beating Illinois.
No.
They're not they're not beating Minnesota. This is this is the if not for UCLA, this is the worst team in the Big Ten. This is, and I got to cover this every day. Today was, you had to win this game,
Mm-hmm.
and you couldn't even try.
You weren't even close.
No. And Malik Washington, who I think is actually got a really promising future, he looks
Absolutely.
really good.
He might save Loxley's job, quite frankly.
And I'll finish with this part here, unless you got something else to say after this. Like my last thing was, I think like during the middle part of the fourth quarter, they did like a cutaway during the NBC telecast where Loxley said, I lost the locker room last year.
Mm-hmm.
I admit that. I'm never going to let that happen. I will always be here for my guys. If I got to put my desk in the locker room, I will do that.
Yeah.
Maryland looks like a team that's going to win like 8 games this year.
100%, man. And Luke Fickell, I don't know where he's sitting, but it's sure as hell not in the locker room.
No, he's probably got to sit next to Billy Napier.
And the unemployment line here soon.
Billy Napier.
Dude, it's so bad. Like, you want to talk about lost the locker room? Brother, if you're an offensive-minded head coach and your offense looks like it has no interest in being on the field, like, you're beyond cooked. And, like, that's what it looked like. DJ Lagway may not be officially redshirting yet, or if he even does, but, like, he's quiet quitting. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, it's like he took a hellacious beating. There was no protections. This was an offensive line that had 2 guys on there that was supposedly like first team All SECs, like Slaughter. Slaughter just means like he just let DJ Lagway get slaughtered.
Yeah, 100%. DJ Slaughter is a verb.
Dude, I feel like I got we got a table at the Dan Campbell Steakhouse. Slaughter the animal right in front of me, man.
That's right.
Billy Napier, like I would say of these coaches, we'll probably talk about this more for Monday's show. Like Napier, I feel like he's the first one to go. I think Fickell's gotten the vote of confidence from McIntosh for some reason, and then Gundy we talked about like the Stockholm syndrome of it all.
Yeah,
but like
I guarantee you they'll let Gundy finish out the year. That's not going to be a midseason firing.
No, and then Fickell, it's just the money's too much here. But Napier, it's you,
bro. I think you've got to fire Napier tomorrow.
Yeah,
because you don't get your bye until the last weekend of October before the cocktail party, and I don't think you can, like, frankly, risk the damage that's going to be done to your program by letting Billy Napier coach this team against Texas A&M, and against Mississippi State. Like, you will lose the Mississippi State game. Well, yeah, you're obviously losing. I don't care who's coaching. You're obviously losing Texas to both the Texas schools. But, like, if Billy Napier is still the head coach on October 18th, they are losing that game. I would bet a decent amount of money on that.
How much better would Florida be if Jeff Lebby was their coach?
A lot. They would be a national championship contender.
Yeah.
Like, that's the most mind-numbing part about this is, like, these kids at Florida are going, like, DJ Lagway is going to take a beating, and, like, not as much as Billy Napier, but they're still going to take a beating. This is not their fault, man. This is a talented team that I still, like, think with the right coach, we could do this. Billy Napier sold us a bill of goods at the end of last season that he was going to figure this out, and that was just not the case. And, like, I can't blame Florida for not moving on for how last season ended, but at the same time, hindsight being what it is, you definitely should have.
The absolute worst part is, like, let's say, for example, you were able to poach Zach Selman and Jeff Lebby from Mississippi State, but you won't do it because Scott Strickland's failing and Dan Mullen failed. So you're just that's completely cooked right now. And, like, I wasn't kidding. I think Napier's won his last game at coaching Florida.
Yeah, 100%. I absolutely agree with that. Like, there's no coming back from where you are right now, man.
No, it was, you were like 0 for 4, you were like 0 for 15 on a third down. It was like that playoff game with the Rockets was every 3.
Good times.
Yeah, just sweating out alcohol like you're James Harden here. And then the last part I gotta say with this is Clemson.
Yeah.
They're not winning a national championship under this regime.
No.
It's I think this has become the end of Mac Brown, Texas.
Mm.
Like Kate Klubnik is just being a whiny little bitch in the post game, like complaining about everything. Like you need to shut up and play better.
Dude, he
You
needs to be benched.
yeah. Like I know Garrett Riley is taking a lot of flack, and so is Tom Allen. This guy sucks. This guy is
Yeah.
not good. This guy is going out there like an overconfident idiot like Jeff Driscoll. Like
I like the
this,
Jeff Driscoll comp. That's really
yeah.
good.
This is a guy that you and I said is going to be the number two pick by the Saints. This
Hmm.
is a guy that we had going to the Heisman Trophy, and he doesn't want to get touched. He hates getting hit. It's like Jeff George and Blaine Gabbert out there. It's just it's so and you have such a tremendous talent advantage, and you
Hmm.
can't figure this out. Syracuse is dropping like flies. Syracuse plays the hardest schedule in the
Syracuse isn't
ACC.
good. Let's be clear
No,
about this. They are not good.
no, but Syracuse is still going to win like 7 games because they're coached phenomenally.
Yeah, exactly. And like I don't want to like make this the main point because it's something that's been talked about for years, but like it is becoming more evident by the year that Dabo not using the transfer portal is what's killing this team. And like it comes down to the simple fact of like I wrote something today for fansided.com that what we're seeing right now from Clemson is worse than what we saw from Florida State going from 2023 to 2024.
Yeah,
And the key difference of why that is worse in my eyes and why what is happening at Clemson is worse is you look at that Florida State team and like yes, they were also a preseason top 10 team. Yes, like they had expectations, but those expectations were based on projections because you had almost an entirely new roster of key contributors. You lost everything from the year that you went 13-0 in the regular season and lost the Orange Bowl. Like didn't got robbed of the playoff spot, like yada yada yada. But like you lost so much talent. You lost Jared Verse, you lost Jordan Travis, you lost Keon Coleman, you lost Trey Benson. Like you lost everything from a very talented roster, and we're trying to replace it all. And we misguidedly said that that was like Mike Norvell was still going to figure it out. Didn't work. That happens. With Clemson, the projections and expectations for this team were everything that you were bringing back. Like it was
yeah.
the antithesis of what that Florida State team was. You came in as the number 4 ranked team in the preseason AP top 25, and you're 1-3 to begin with. But you did that with a group with Cade Klubnik's, one of the best quarterbacks in college football. You have maybe like 2 top 10 picks in the NFL draft on your defensive line. The best wide receiver core we've seen in half a decade at Clemson. Like you have all of this going for you, and you're not good enough. And like
And
when you think about the other teams that are national championship contenders, you look at a great example is Texas A&M. Texas A&M looked at their roster and they're like, what were we missing last year that kept us from getting over the hump? It was a passing game. Why are we lacking in the passing game? We don't have the wide receiver talent. So you go out and you get Craver and you go out and get Casey Concepcion. And lo and behold, you're beating Notre Dame in South Bend. Holy hell, it's not that hard, Dabo Swinney.
then you supposedly upgraded a coordinator. You had to get rid of Wes Goodwin because he was the problem.
Yeah.
You have talent there. You have like 2 top 10 picks on defense, and it's just like it may be the portal. There's more to it than that too. I think there's an arrogance about it too.
Oh yeah,
This is
100%.
it's the same thing with Texas where it's like I'm coming in here, I'm hot ass with whatever it is. Meanwhile, Miami's putting in the work.
Hmm.
Florida State got embarrassed. They're figuring it out. Georgia Tech hasn't been this good in 30 years.
No, God no.
20, yeah, 25 years. There you go. There you
Regardless,
go.
it might as well be 30 years,
Might
bro.
as well be 30. And then you lose to Syracuse. And like this is a again, Syracuse and Clemson always play weird games. This is just how it goes.
They do.
But you didn't look, you lost to LSU. You played with your food versus Troy. You're lucky to win that game.
Hmm.
You lose on a last second field goal versus Georgia Tech on the road.
Which you
And
had to
then,
come back to make that a game and needed a last
yeah,
second field goal to be. You were down most of that game.
I bet they feel really stupid getting on that bus right now.
Did you see the Syracuse graphic that they put out?
No.
It's, they It was definitely AI, which, that is what it is. But like it was the hill at Clemson, and it was everyone walking back up the hill, and it said back to the buses, Death Valley, property of Syracuse. And I was like, oh my God.
I bet some guys like, you know what? If I roll my ankle, I have to play in this dog ass of a game.
That's right. 100%. Ow, ow, my wrist. It's really hurting me.
We were so wrong about Palmetto being the game of the season, and just no.
It might still be a good game because neither team might be nearly as good as we thought they were going to be.
Mike Shula is so mad.
It's real bad, man. I
It's
think we vastly underrated the downgrade that happened there.
sometimes like we're thinking like there's been some really bad coordinators. I think Shula's got to be up there. Probably what's like been like the best coordinator hire. Anybody that like thus far? Probably Arbuckle.
Yeah, so far this season, Arbuckle's been pretty nails.
I think Heatherman's been pretty clutch too.
Yeah, yeah, I like that as well.
Gus, Gus,
Oh God,
Tony,
yeah. Do
Gus
you
and
know
Tony
how many
White.
yards Florida State rushed for today against Kent State? I understand it's Kent State who is dog water, but they rushed for 498 yards today as a team. Gus, like, not to get too graphic, Gus definitely had an orgasm on the sideline watching that happen.
Let's hurry up and run, boys.
Yeah. I gotta change my shorts. Like,
Um, Gus, if Gus was the head coach at Clemson, could you imagine
oh my
running
God.
down? He's on a four-wheeler. He's jumping that thing.
Oh God, yeah.
It's like in slow motion.
He's doing
Everybody else is
handsprings off
down
the
the
rock.
everybody else is down the field, and he's still going like this fast.
Like Marshawn in the cart.
I mean, Marshawn, he if Cal plays at Clemson, I believe hopefully he gets to be part of that.
Oh God, yeah. I hope they do a one-on-one with Marshawn and Dabo Swing.
Amen, brother. Okay, let's get out of here some punt. What do you got for that?
Yeah, so I'm gonna look at two losers today in big games that I'm just not ready to like kill just yet. And that's Auburn and that's Illinois. Starting with the Auburn side of things, like you obviously got put in a position where you were forced to make Jackson Arnold throw the ball. And that, like I said earlier, the offense looked very disjointed in doing all of that. At the same time, I think this defense played really well against an offense that we know is talented and is hard to defend because we just mentioned Ben Arbuckle is one of the best, if not the best, one of the best coordinator hires that we've seen this offseason or going into the season, excuse me. And that Auburn defense was salty, man. They made Mateer's life very hard in this game. You got robbed of a turnover that you did force. Like, this Auburn defense is legit. And, like, not every defense that you go up against is going to be Oklahoma. This Auburn team's still going to win a lot of games. And so, like, they're probably not a playoff contender. I'm not putting them in that category. But if you're looking at this game and be like, we knew Auburn would come back down to earth, brother, they're going to be a factor in the SEC for the rest of the season.
I'm not looking forward to Georgia playing them this year. That's
Yeah.
kind of scares me. I still probably take Georgia in this situation, but DJ Durkin did a fantastic job making John Mateer's life a living hell. And I think it's just like Auburn's not gonna lose to bad teams this year. I mean they went into Waco, they won pretty handily.
No, 100%. Like, and Baylor looks like Baylor just lost to Arizona State, but I still think Baylor's a good team.
Yeah. I mean, losing to Arizona State, it happens. Like
that's the Big 12, brother.
Yeah. I do think Arnold showed me a little bit more. I still don't think he's very good just because he can't throw. I think there's a toughness about him and there's kind of like a clutch running sort of component with him too, where I think his teammates will rally behind as he develops as a passer. And maybe he'll be that as like a redshirt senior, but like it's always going to kind of be pulling teeth to watch him throw the ball. And again, this is only his first year there with Hugh Freeze, but the upside with that leads me to believe that Freeze is probably going to keep his job. And I will say, nobody came out of this game today or through the first third of the season with Auburn. So yeah, Hugh Freeze needs to go. I don't think that's the case.
No, not at all. And like to your point, like Jackson Arnold definitely, like you mentioned it, he got sacked 10 times and got the piss beat out of him worse than that. Like he got hit a lot in this game. And like He got up off the mat. The anti-Cade Klubnik. Like, he got up off the mat every single time and was ready for the next play. What you just described in terms of his development, you know who he, in like the ideal world, what his development looks like? Haynes King at
A
Georgia
little bit,
Tech.
yeah.
Like, Haynes King has developed as a passer. He's still not perfect in that regard by any stretch of the imagination, but damn, dude, he's a warrior. And like, if he needs to put the team on his back carrying the football, he might not always succeed, but he's damn sure gonna try.
There's like good kind of Kenny Pickett to him too, where like
Yeah.
he's just the starts will start to add up. I don't know necessarily know if he'll ever be as good as Bo Nix is in terms of the
No.
precise. I don't think that's in his arsenal. I got the perfect comparison for Jackson Arnold. You know who he is? He's Dwayne Wade. I don't know if Dwayne Wade can shoot, but he's
I
out there
like it.
falling down.
I like it.
Fall down 11 times, get up 12 times, or something dumb like that.
He's got his LeBron there with him with Cam Coleman. That kid could play, dude.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Cam Coleman's like he's different. He's built a
He,
little different.
and like in terms of like talent, like just pure talent, it's not going to be the same production because, as mentioned, Jackson Arnold isn't really an acute thrower of the football. But him and Jeremiah Smith might be the two like most talented wide receivers in the country. Like, just God-given ability.
Yeah, just in terms of overall physical stuff, he's
Mhm.
certainly up there. Auburn's not had like a lot of
No,
guys like that in a while.
no.
Probably the last player outside of quarterback that I can recall was just different was probably Derek Brown in the trenches.
Derek Brown, yeah, yeah.
Carl Lawson was pretty good too.
Yeah, but like
Carl,
when like I'm trying to think about like skill position players. Like, when's the
yeah,
last like skill like is it as far back as Cadillac?
like I don't know if Sammy Coates was even this good.
No,
No,
definitely not. No.
no,
Not as physically imposing at least.
no, no. There's it's a different sort of thing. They had what was the guy? Oh God, he had there was a guy who could just fly. It was like Anthony something.
Oh God, yeah, a couple years ago the Browns drafted him. Anthony Schwartz.
Yes, I was like, yeah, Anthony
He
Schwartz.
was
Like
not very good. He was just fast as hell.
he was the fastest. I'm curious to hear what your Illinois kind of thought with this because it got ugly very quickly, and
Yeah.
obviously this hurts the Illini's chances of making the playoffs
Yeah, and
considerably. But
I still don't think Illinois is making the playoff. Like, I don't think I'm coming out of this game saying they're a playoff team, but like I'm also like I don't think they're I don't think we should drop them into like the bottom half of the like in this game. Did they look like a bottom half Big Ten team? Yes, they got their doors blown off. But like I don't think that's what they are. I think the biggest thing I come away with this is you have Kurt Signetti in an Indiana team with a NFL caliber quarterback in Fernando Mendoza and two NFL caliber wide receivers in Elijah Surratt and Omar Cooper Jr. And you're down. You by the end of the game, Illinois was down 4 DBs. Xavier Scott missed the game because of injury. Two guys went out after him, and then one got ejected. Like,
not good.
not a great matchup. Would you want that? And like, I think that Illinois, even with those, like, even if they didn't have Xavier Scott and the other injuries didn't happen, I think they probably still lose this game because things just snowballed. And sometimes that happens, and the result looks worse than the team on the other side, on the wrong end of that result. Sometimes that does happen. I just think that Illinois, we know what, honestly, going back to the point I was talking about with pre-Fickell Wisconsin, I think the floor of this Illinois team is very, very high. And I think you just got caught in a buzzsaw tonight. Like, I think that's what happened.
So two thoughts. It always goes back to Altmaier and Bielema for me.
Mm-hmm.
So with Altmaier, really good college player. I think when you're going up against a first round prospect in Mendoza,
Yeah.
you're kind of you look less than a little bit.
Yeah.
And
there's no shame in that though.
It is what it is. But you're absolutely right there with Bielema. It's like the floor is just so high. One of the things that I think is Brett Bielema's greatest strength as a coach, and even had this in Arkansas when it was going okay before it got bad,
Mm-hmm.
is like his teams will lose a game, and I never really felt that like, oh, panic's in the air. We'll be able to figure out next week. Like he'll get back to the drawing board and have a good game plan. Obviously, some of the parts of Arkansas it didn't go that well, but like at Wisconsin, and now with Illinois, it's like we'll lose. We're not going to let this compound into a 3-game losing streak, if you will.
No, 100%. And like, The good news for Illinois, you have a chance next week to get up off the mat. You have USC coming to town for a noon kickoff on Eastern time, which USC has traditionally struggled with that in the past year and a half. So you got a chance to prove yourself because assuming USC finishes off Michigan State here, like USC is going to be a top 25 team. You can bounce right back and get a top 25 win under your belt. And then you look at the rest of the schedule and it is manageable. You have Ohio State coming to town. That sucks. But outside of that, it's not exactly a murderer's row of teams that Illinois has on the schedule.
No, you got a lot of Wisconsin and Northwesterns.
And a little Purdue trip in there, which not doesn't look too menacing.
No. Purdue's got 2 wins, man. Good for them.
Hell yeah. Notre Dame has 1 win and going to be ranked again.
And they sure do. And this was 3 yards in a cloud of punt here on False Start. You can follow me, John Buhler, on Twitter and X at Buhler118. You can follow Cody Williams at TheSizzle20. You can follow the show at CFB False Start. Like, rate, listen, subscribe, review on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, anywhere there's podcasts. Give us a 5-star review. That's how many, I don't know, about how many touchdowns Fernando Mendoza threw today.
That's half of the sacks that Jackson Arnold took.
It's 10, yeah. That's how many 4th downs that Florida converted compared to their 3rd downs.
That's right.
I gotta say that with Napier, man. Like, there were so many times like he went the one that you get the pick of back and then you go for a 4th down. You never do that. And if you get a turnover, you kick a field goal because you have to reward your defense for getting a play.
Yeah, 100%. It's just so bad, man. The decision making is like he made Mario Cristobal look like a genius tonight. Like, going back to our escape room question.
Yes.
Mario gets out and Billy's still somehow stuck in there. That's how the escape room goes.
I didn't realize, I forgot in the moment, like, but during the telecast, they're obviously both on like Saban's staff from like 13 to 16.
Yeah.
So Jigsaw's Nick Saban from above. What a play game.
What a play game.
Also, we were talking about this off. Like Mario's out there in the rain wearing a white T-shirt. He's like, he's treated like this is like a wet T-shirt contest. Like Mario, this is what it's about.
He misinterpreted the rules just a little bit.
The rules don't apply to him. They might apply to us. And they certainly don't apply to really bad coaches because this is False Start.